super excited. I just got my stuff in. All right. Hello, my name is Hector Velazquez, and welcome to another episode of GCSAA Inside the Shop. Today we're going to be talking about spray painting. More specific, I already opened it, I'm sorry. We're going to be talking about spray painting using an HVLP gun. Now, if you've never used an HVLP gun, don't worry. This is the episode you want to be watching, because with us we have a guest technician who I kind of consider to be an expert in the field, and I'm going to start getting this thing put together.
Hi, it's John Borsos from South Park Golf Course in Pittsburgh, PA. Choosing the right gun, I mean, as you said, you can get way out in the thousands of dollars, which if you're buying your first gun, you don't want to buy the most expensive gun. You also don't want to go to I've seen people spray with like a Harbor Freight $10 gun and they'd be perfectly fine. Recommend people go to is the Starting Line DeVilbiss. Before you spray with a brand new gun, take it apart and clean it with either acetone, paint thinner, because the oils from manufacturing are in that gun when it gets shipped to you. So they keep it from corroding. So clean the gun before you even use it.
All right, so this is the HVLP spray gun. It's a set that I got on Amazon, and this is the paint cup. So we're going to take this apart. I want to show you something here real quick. It has this really cool liner in here. That's where your paint would go. But the cap has a filter mesh built right into it, which I think it's really cool. This is the cup connector. We're going to set that off to the side. Next, we're going to remove the atomization cap. Then right after that, we're going to remove the fluid nozzle. These are components that we have to clean. Next, we have the fluid adjustment knob. And inside that knob, you're going to find a needle return spring. And last but not least, we have the fluid needle. We're going to very gently remove that and get all these components cleaned. And then we have the HVLP body. We're going to clean all this with acetone. You can use paint thinner as well. And just like John said, we want to remove any oils from manufacturing first. All right, now with this kit, I did get an air regulator, which is right here. But you want to make sure you have an inline water air separator like this built into your system. And I'll show you how that sets up here in a minute.
Clean your floors before you start painting. And when you're getting ready to paint, if you mist down the floor, keeps the dust down.
All right, now what I did sweep my floor, I mopped it, and I laid down a drop cloth. I do not want to get any overspray on my floor, so that's the purpose for that. Now while I'm at it, I'm going to use this opportunity to use the same drop cloth and kind of mask off any areas on my project that I do not want to get paint on. And this is the part that takes the longest. All right, so this is the paint that we're using. It's made by Rust Stop. I got this at Ace, and it's a machine and implement paint, but it's oil-based. And I got a nice international red color. That's going to look good. Now here's a real quick tip. If you take a flathead screwdriver and you stab some holes around the lid of the can, once you pour your paint into your cup, and with those holes around the top there, that paint will drip right back inside the can. So you don't have any paint sitting there. All right, now this paint, the viscosity is a little too thick for the spray gun, so I'm going to thin it down with some paint thinner. How much you use, that's all going to depend on your paint. It's going to depend on a lot of things, but you're going to get an idea on how to thin down your paint, and it comes with practice. But I think this is going to be good, so I'm going to pour it into my cup, and I'm going to use a cone mesh filter or a paint filter to filter the paint through. Now the fact that it's pouring through this mesh, as good as it is, that's how I know my viscosity is good. So now we filtered our paint through, and if you remember on the cup it has that built-in mesh also, which is our second line of defense with that. We're going to make sure we secure our ring back on. And go ahead and attach the paint cup to our spray gun. And then we're going to attach our air hose. And next we're going to set the PSI. When you set your PSI, you want to make sure that you have air flowing while you're setting your PSI.
So you want your spray pattern to be 6 inches. You want to be 6 inches away from your panel, if that makes any sense. Now, usually it's like use your fingers as kind of a judge. You don't have to get tape measure out. It's not like completely exact science, but that's where you want to be, 6 inches and 6 inches.
All right, now I'm going to use a piece of cardboard here to kind of see where I'm at with the paint flow. And as you can see, that's a little bit too direct, so I'm going to adjust the fan. Still a little too direct. I'm going to open it up a little bit more. And there we go. I think that's looking a little bit better. Let's go ahead and try it out.
You want to be almost like lock your arm and stay 6 inches away from that panel and just back. And when you come up, like, so before I come into the screen, I'm already going to have paint flowing before I hit the panel for painting. We're going to come across, and speed going across, it takes some time to get the feel for it, because if you move too slow, you're going to get runs. If you move too fast, you're going to be dry. And when you're dry, like your first coat, it's okay to be dry because you can tack onto it. So you have the next coat has something to grip to. Your second and say your third coat, you want to be wet on your edges.
All right, so we want to make sure we keep our gun parallel to the project, right? Keep the same distance. We don't want to wander away or wave our gun like this. We're going to get some heavy and light spots. And you want to make sure you pull the trigger before you hit your project. That's a little light. Let me enrich this a little bit. Let's try that out. Yeah, still a little, yeah, we're still a little light. Okay, let me open it up. There we go, a little better. All right, now check out how I'm spraying. I'm just kind of randomly going back and forth. I'm stopping in the middle of the project, right? These are things you do not want to do. You want to work it all the way across the project, because now when I come back to fill in those voids, you notice I have like striping going on, and these are not good things or a good habit that you want to build. You want to make sure that you work your way across the whole piece, keep your strokes even, and you want to make sure you're overlapping consistently across your project. I'm going to open it up a little bit and let me kind of fix this now. Now, the fact that it is my first coat, it really doesn't matter, right? But it does. You want to build good habits on, your spray techniques and things like that. So I'm going to fill in some of these areas real quick and get back to a consistent pattern. Now, the fact that this is an oil-based paint, it's a little bit forgiving. If it was an automotive paint, I don't think it would be so forgiving like this. All right, so now I'm going to add some more paint. Now notice how I'm going to work all the way across the piece, keeping my distance even all the way across. I got a smooth speed going, and I'm overlapping about 50 to 75% of my fan. And just practice, make your first project something that you really don't worry too much about if the paint's going to turn out okay. But just practice and you're going to get consistently good. Just make sure you're wearing your safety equipment, you got respirator, and you got ventilation going on in the shop. In this case, I got my door open and I have a fan running in the background. Now, I haven't sprayed in a long time with an HVLP, so I'm pretty excited about this project. Overall, it turned out really good. Don't have much for tiger striping going on. I'm really excited how this turned out.
As soon as you're done using your gun, after you're done painting, after the project, after you're painting and you're not going to paint anymore, tear down the gun, clean it all out. Do not let it sit with any paint for any time.
And of course, this is the worst part of the whole project, right? The cleaning up part. Just make sure you get it done. All right, John, I appreciate you joining us. I appreciate the tips and ideas that helped us make this paint job successful. I want to thank you for joining us here today on GCSAA Inside the Shop, where we're helping technicians one wrench at a time. Now to clean up my gun.